CPPCC members, we have completed all the agendas and is about to conclude the session. This session is convened at a critical time when people of all ethnic groups are studying Xi Jinping thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristic for a new era and the spirit of the 19th CPC National Congress, building a moderately prosperous society and ushering a new era of building socially modern country. During the session, General Secretary, President and Chairman of the Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping, and other party and national leaders present at the opening ceremony and closing ceremony of the session. They also were engaged in group discussions. The CPPCC members have high sense of political responsibility and conduct discussions on the government work report and other reports. Discussions were also carried on the constitutional amendment draft and the supervision law draft, as well as State Council institution reform plan, deliberated CPPCC Standing Committee work report, CPPCC Charter amendment draft. Advice were given and result was fruitful. This is a democratic, united, pragmatic, and forward-looking session which fully demonstrates the vitality of socially democratic politics with Chinese characteristics. Thanks to your trust, we were elected as the Standing Committee of the 13th CPPCC. The new session of CPPCC will fulfill its duty on the solid foundation laid by our predecessors. In the past 5 years, under CPC Central Party Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, and the presiding of Comrade Yu Zhengsheng, the 12th CPPCC inherited the legacy of the past while innovating in the development, fulfilling our duty of political consultancy, democratic supervision, and participated in discussions of state affairs and break new grounds in work. Let us pay our highest tribute to Comrade Yu Zhengsheng and all the members of the 12th CPPCC. This year marks the beginning of carrying through the spirit of the 19th CPC National Congress and a critical juncture of implementing the 13th Five-Year Plan, as well as the first year for the 13th CPPCC to assume its responsibility. The greater the goals are, the more daunting the task would be. Therefore, we need more cohesion and consensus, as well as wisdom and powers. The CPPCC need to study the spirit of the 19th CPC National Congress and establish Xi Jinping thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics as the general principles of our work, stick to the the CPC leadership, stick to the character and positioning of CPPCC, and stick to unity and coalition, stick to socialistic democracy. The new era calls for new deployment. We should carry forward the fine tradition and fulfill our due duty in order to write new chapter of CPPCC development for a new era. The CPC-led multi-party cooperation and political consultancy is a fundamental political system of China. It is a great political creation by the CPC, all democratic parties and non-party members. It is a new type of party system originates from Chinese soil. The CPPCC has a solemn name that clearly defines its characters and functions. The 13th CPPCC is about to assume its duty. We must, from the very beginning, have a clear understanding of the connotation of the name, which is also the mission bestowed by the system. The CPPCC is a political organization. Therefore, we have to take a clear stand on politics. From the first day that it was born, it has a clear political stand. Its establishment solemnly proclaimed that our democratic parties and people from all ethnic groups have chosen CPC leadership. In the past 70 years, this choice is absolutely justified. With the CPC leadership, we have won the victory of Chinese revolution, construction, and reforms. With the strong leadership of the Central Party Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, we will be able to realize historical revolution, proceed to a new era, and realize national rejuvenation. CPC leadership is the most defining character of socialism with Chinese characteristic and biggest political reality of China. Taking a clear stand in politics is the essential requirement of CPPCC. CPC leadership is the fundamental political guarantee for CPPCC to proceed and make progress. And it is also the political principle that we have to adhere to. We need to promote consensus of all parties, groups, and people from all ethnic groups to identify with the CPC's understanding of socialism with Chinese characteristics in politics, thoughts, theory, and emotions. We must establish the four consciousness, for competences, and voluntarily accept the CPC leadership and safeguard General Secretary Xi Jinping's core position, safeguard the Central Party Committee's authority and unified leadership. When it comes to critical matters such as institution, path, flag, and orientation, we must have a united thought, a will, and steps in order to make sure that CPPCC has a correct political orientation. We should stick to socialism with Chinese characteristics so that the CPC-led multi-party cooperation and political consultancy system can be maintained and improved in a new era, thus contributing to the political progress of the world.
CPPCC, as the key system of people's democracy, we must faithfully carry out the responsibility with people-centered. Seeking a happier life for the Chinese people and realizing national rejuvenation is our original aspiration and mission for the CPC, which also apply to CPPCC. As an institutional arrangement with distinctive Chinese feature and also a key form of people's democracy, CPPCC pull the energy of various political parties, organizations, ethnic groups, and social status, and individuals from all walks of life, showing the extensive representatives and the great intensive. They are always the key actors to realize state prosperity, national rejuvenation, people happier life. General Secretary Xi Jinping emphasized that CPPCC should put their work in realizing, maintaining, and developing the fundamental interests of its people as their starting point of objective. Center their efforts in improving people's living standards, and also give advisory input and suggestions in well-being areas, and support the government and party to solve the key issues and difficulties in this regard in order to deliver more benefits to the people, because CPPCC is there for the people. For the 13th CPPCC, under the socialist democracy with Chinese characteristics for a new era, 2,158 members become the participants and practitioners. It not just means the honor, but also the obligation. Only by keeping people firmly in mind can CPPCC solid implement requirements made by the CPC, correct exercise democratic rights, and fulfill their duties. Each member should be aware that performing their duty with dedication is show the responsibility to the people and respect to the system. We should bear in mind the historic direction of China's development and the change in its principal contradiction, deeply implement new development philosophy, closely focus on people's ever-growing needs for a better life, reality of social and economic development, and implement of the party's decision and plans made by the party and the country, and work particularly for solid progress in forestalling and diffusing main risks in target poverty alleviation and addressing pollution, leveraging all talents and resources through political consultation, democratic supervision, participation, and discussion of state affairs. Let us move forward coordinated economic, social, cultural, and ecological advance, deliver the achievements of reform and the benefits to the people in a fair and inclusive way. CPPCC is a specialized consultative institution, so it should be reality and pragmatic to enhance its consultative capability. As a key channel, CPPCC should further develop its intensive and multiple-layer institutionalized manner, because all of these is conducive to break new ground for CPPCC to play its role. The 70th year experience in political consultative democracy provide valuable experience to the 13th CPPCC. Gathering a large group of talents with ambitions and capabilities laid a solid foundation for us to carry a better job. CPPCC is not an organ of power, which means we take part in policies, not making policies. We make suggestions, not decisions. We conduct supervision, not enforcement. Our key role is to play in the area of consultation. Such role is not do a lip service. We should say things in a correct manner. Saying things correct, which require us our input, should be aligned with natural process, with objective principles. This requires us to keep increasing our capabilities to be truly and pragmatic. We should strengthen our study in an earnest way of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era and spirit of 19th CPC National Congress, and consider General Secretary Xi Jinping's major delivery and speech at the celebration of 65th anniversary of CPPCC establishment as the basic textbook to become a qualified CPPCC member. In addition, we should also combine the in-field knowledge and practice with CPPCC work to follow the democratic principle, significance, and methods to keep increasing our ideology level. And we should be good at making field conduct and service. We should fully leverage people's wisdom and talents. We should conduct our survey and field study in a wider and deeper way. We should understand the background, root cause, and solutions of the issues, and make ourselves be more qualified to speak on the consultative topics. We should strengthen our practice, enrich the form of consultation, and increase our spirit and capability and skills in this regard. We do everything to give the efforts and shape to a complete institutional process and participation. We should foster an enabling environment for consultative democracy give the incentive to the behaviors, and give the attachment to the key ideas and suggestions in a truthful and pragmatic way, to seeking true and becoming pragmatic become the normal practice in CPPCC, and let the Chinese at home and abroad to contribute their wisdom and energy to realize Chinese dream of national rejuvenation. Fellow members and comrades, on March 11th, the first session of 13th MPC has already approved an amendment to Constitution. The Constitution is China's fundamental law and the general charter for governing the country well and ensuring national security, which also reflects the common will of the Communist Party of China and its people. The amendment to the Constitution reflects the new achievements, experience, and requirement to the cause of the country, reflects the state committee and upholds CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core and centralized and unified leadership, and fully adhere to socialism with Chinese characteristics for the country's reveling and long-term stability. All of us should uphold and practice with the Constitution as the basic principle and act within the scope of the Constitution and law. We should conduct our work to respect, study, abide by, safeguard, and apply Constitution and actively bring them into our thinking and action. Fellow members and comrades, just now we approved the first session of 13th CPPCC political resolution and newly revised amendments to the CPPCC charter. They are the following rules for us to conduct our work this year and to going forward. We should emphasize that the revised CPPCC charter adds a new chapter regarding the CPPCC members and also raise the clear requirement on the performance and duties. Hope all of us can do a good job to complete the member assignment this year, and at the same time next year, when we're gathering together, not only we can raise the valuable proposals, we also can submit outstanding duty performance reports. Members and comrades, socialism with Chinese characteristics now entering into a new era. We are more ever before very close to realize the national rejuvenation with strongest confidence. A new era called on new moves. CPPCC should seek the common goals, largest common divisor, and join the synergy to draw a concentric circle to bring the positive energies and use the innovation and reform to bring the new dynamism in our work. We should pull the people from different political parties, ethnic groups, social status and beliefs, especially the Chinese from home and abroad, together to foster the widest patriotic united front with endeavor to realize national reunification and rejuvenation. Let us rally even closer around the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core to ensure decisive victory in building a socialism with Chinese characteristics in all respects and ensure the success of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Please all rise. For the national anthem.